The last thing you need to do is you need to finish the peg end itself. So whether you are putting in a new set of Whitner pegs or taking the Frankenstein ends off of a wood peg, you've got this finish that's out here that doesn't look very good. So we actually need to get it cleaned up. Let's show you how. Like, let's take this Whitner peg. When we cut this thing off, we end up with this really, well, all this plasticky stuff that sticks out over here and this kind of unkempt finish to the end of it. We need to clean that up. So I start by just breaking that plastic stuff off with my finger, and then I've got my towel here, and the towel is designed that way when I'm sanding into the paper, there's an edge that comes up around it. If I did it on the hard surface, that's perfectly flat, and I'm going to file a perfectly flat edge into this, and I don't want a perfectly flat edge. I want a little bit of a bevel around here, and that's what this does. So here I've got 220 grit sandpaper, I've got 220, I've got 600 on here, and then that's 1500. So I take a hold of the peg, and I just start flat. I don't worry about my beveled edges yet. I'm just coming in, sanding off the majority of that stuff. And I'm always doing things in a circle, never straight up or back and forth, always in a circle, until I get a nice smooth finish on the edge. Now that I have that, I can roll this around just a little bit. So I can roll this around here. So I'm actually allowing that to come all the way around the edges. I'm going to put just a little bit more on that, and then I'm going to push right down into that paper. And that's going to create a nice, smooth, slightly beveled up edge that I really like. Now I'm going to take that to the 600. And finish it finally on the 15. And this puts on a pretty nice shiny finish right there. And for most people, that's just great. If you do want to go just a little bit more nerdy, there is another step you can do. You can add your thorp into this. So this is the sharpening thorp. This is a piece of leather that we use. We talk about this in how to sharpen tools. And we can use the thorp and do the same thing. So we've gone from 1500 to about 40,000 grit down here. And that just shines up the end in a little bit more of a shiny way. That's all there is to it. We want to take these through the steps of sandpaper. So from a heavy grit like a 220 up to a really fine grit like a 600 to a super fine grit like a 1500. And that does almost everything just fine. If you're super nerdy and want a really shiny finish at the end, great. Grab a thorp and shine that up even more, or go to like a 40,000 grit sandpaper. They do actually make that stuff out there, and it makes a really nice finish. And that's on plastic. The exact same thing works on wood. Let me show you that real fast. We have a rough cut on the wood. You can see here that I'm not quite done. You see that little spot right there in the middle where you can still see the old saw blade marks? We want to make sure we sand clear through that. Now we're talking. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you got something out of it. If you want to learn more about instrument repair, go check out repairmasterclass.com and check out all the courses that we have available.